This meeting to order. Call this meeting to order. Parks and Trails Advisory Board, Sandy, Oregon. Welcome, everyone. Do we have quorum, Chelsea?
We do.
Oh, fun. Um, Chelsea, could you do roll call, please?
Of course. Okay, Michael,
Present.
Ryan,
Present.
Clarissa,
Present.
Matthew,
Present.
Peck let me know she was not going to be able to join us tonight. Will.
Present.
Perfect.
Okay, are there any changes or additions to the agenda? Take that as a no. Any public comment?
We have no one joining us tonight.
Disappointing. Has everybody read the minutes? If so, could we make a motion to approve or comment?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second the motion to approve the minutes for June.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, cool. Chelsea, I am in my car. I don't have an agenda handy. Do you mind running through that for me?
Fiona, do you want to start us off with the first agenda item, or actually the only agenda item?
I would love to. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for being here and helping us make sure that we had a quorum this evening. We are here to discuss the night partition and whether the Parks and Trails Advisory Board would be in support of a parkland dedication or a trail easement. John, you can move to the next slide. So this piece of land is going through a land use application, and they met with our planning and development services on May 21st, seeking a major partition with associated variances. And due to that partition and variances, this is moving before our planning commission and scheduled to go before them on August 24th. So as a Parks Board, we will review this and take your recommendation to the commission on the 24th. John, next slide, please. Before you this evening is whether to seek a parkland dedication or a trail easement. We also could consider a fee in lieu typically when we're reviewing land use applications. In this instance, as you'll see here in a moment, going over the subdivision highlights, they are seeking to divide the two parcels and put some, the word just eluded me. Prohibit future development until the ERUs are available. And because of that, we don't know what the proposed development would be. We do not have the needed information to do a calculation for a fee in lieu or a land dedication. Should you want to pursue a parkland dedication, dedication would put the property in city ownership, providing greater flexibility for future park development. It would also increase financial responsibility upfront. A trail easement would preserve the opportunity for a future public trail connection while allowing the underlying property to remain in the private ownership until such time the city is prepared to construct the trail. We can move to the next. Thank you, John. The subdivision is seeking to complete a partition to create two separate parcels with deed restrictions preventing development until ERUs or equivalent residential units are available to pursue development. The trail that we're speaking of is Trail 43, and it is listed as an extension of Tickle Creek Trail, starting at near Jacoby Road and extending out to Meadow Avenue. If we were able to do this trail easement, that would satisfy the master plan trail connection. And as mentioned at this time, the applicant is moving through land use with the Planning Commission. And as I had said, we do not know what they would be proposing to complete a calculation to determine how much fee in lieu or how much parkland dedication would be required at that time. We could take a guess and we could request a parkland dedication, but again, that would also mean taking on the financial responsibility and the maintenance of that land at this time. On this slide, this is showing you the piece of land that we're actually speaking about. The red dot is the home that sits in the middle of the 9.64 acres. It's hard to tell looking at this one, but I did want you to be able to see it where Tickle Creek runs. And so that's your other image up on the other side of your screen. I can't mouse because John's leading. So if you go to just the green, perfect. Thank you, John. That shows you where Tickle Creek Trail runs through the site. And that would be your top white dot on the other image. And we are estimating 81 feet is approximately where the trail alignment of Trail 43 is proposed by our master plan, which is why later in the documents you will see that we are requesting 100-foot trail easement to give us buffer and find proper alignment of where Trail 43 could go in the future. The next slide actually shows you 1243 in our Parks and Trails approved master plan, and it's that little tiny piece of pie right there above the green and yellow where we would be crossing their piece of land. And if you go over to the orange figure, John, that is the solid square is the piece of land that we're speaking of. The grayed out building is the house on that piece of land that I showed you on the previous slide. And then in that top upper right hand, yep, you are following perfectly. I love the way you read my mind. That is where Trail 43 would cross this piece of land, potentially in the future. I've been out and walked this in person. It's heavily, heavily vegetated. It's a beautiful piece of land where the creek flows below it. But trying to guess where a trail might go in the future, it was a challenge. But if we are ever able to actually make this come to fruition in the future, it will be a beautiful extension of Tickle Creek Trail. This slide just shows you our entire proposed park system for the future. And as you'll see, down where Trail 43 is, there's also other future trails, other future parks, and things that are slotted for the development of our city. But this type of development is going to take a lot of coordination, more land acquisition, and coordination between multi-agencies. So things to consider in our discussion tonight and whether you want to pursue a trail easement or parkland dedication is, first of all, Trail 43 is not listed as a tier 1, 2, or 3 project, meaning that it is not planned to be completed anytime within the next 11 or so years. It will, as I mentioned, require that multi-agency coordination with ODOT, the county, and the city. It'll be a complex project we have funding limitations that would prevent near-term implementation. As you could see on those previous slides, there's a lot of land on either side of this land that would need to be acquired either through trail easements, parkland dedications, land acquisitions for Trail 43 to actually come through. But if we were to pursue the parkland trail easement, that would preserve the corridor and support our long-term trail network goals. Also, something to consider is that we already have council identified goals, and 2 of those are to expand our parks and recreational opportunities and to pursue parkland and natural areas and open spaces. This easement would support that future recreational access and align with our long-term investment strategy. The city is able to require a land or easement dedication during this partition process, and it would support our Parks and Trails master plan. Again, a parkland dedication would provide public ownership and flexibility over the land, but it would also mean long-term maintenance and operational costs would become ours. The trail easement, which is the staff preferred recommendation, would preserve the future for a trail corridor. It would keep the land in the private ownership, and it would minimize the immediate maintenance and fiscal impacts and allow for a phased implementation when and if funds became available to pursue this trail. So it is the staff recommendation that a dedication of a trail easement be pursued. And if the Parks and Trails Advisory Board is in agreement with that this evening, we would recommend that you submit a memo to the Planning Commission accepting a dedication of the trail easement. There is some motion language here for you to consider, but at this time, I'll take any questions or concerns or discussion surrounding this, and we can go back to any slides you would like to see.
I'm trying frantically to unmute. There we go. Hey, just so and you added a level of understanding I didn't have before. They already have some ERUs.
They do not. There are no ERUs allocated to this site. There is already a home on the site. And so
There's a
they're
home.
partitioning and dividing the land so that the home can be its own smaller parcel. And then it's my understanding, the home will sit on a smaller parcel, and then the remainder of the land would be preserved, hoping to be able to pursue a development in the future when ERUs become available.
Oh, then it's really small. When you said they were dividing based on ERUs, I was assuming maybe they had some, but they've just got the single family home. Got it.
Correct.
So I had two questions. This is all kind of just because of the position the city's in and the planning department's in with the ERUs and the from the other side, the developers. It's kind of dynamic what they're looking for. I mean, what we'll end up with in the end. Is this decision also dynamic, or is this a final? I mean, when they develop the rest of the property, or when they get the ERUs and start getting closer to digging dirt, do we have another opportunity to revisit this?
If ERUs become available and they pursue a land use application at that time for development, I do believe it will come back looking for more input. There will be more information at that time. But because of the nature of their request, they're trying to defer some things that would generally be required at this stage. But due to the lack of ERUs, they're asking to defer that until development could happen. It was the recommendation of our planning and development services that we consider looking at a trail easement dedication at this time to preserve the potential for our future, and we'd be able to fulfill our Parks and Trails master plan. We'd be protecting the future of what we are hoping to establish without taking on the financial responsibility at this time.
And that was my second question. I guess I'm trying to understand how we'd maintain something that's not even being developed. What would the maintenance be on that?
There won't be maintenance for us, right? As a trail easement, there will not
No,
be
I-
maintenance.
I-
But if there's a parkland dedication,
Mhm.
we have now taken ownership of a green piece of land that abuts other property. So if there's trees that become declining and they are potentially going to fall near that home that sits in the middle of this parcel, it becomes the city's obligation to address those trees. Or the invasive species, excuse me, because the piece of land closest to the home is heavily covered in blackberry. I could not assess and look at the potential of where Trail 43 would be from
Yeah.
the home site. I had to go in off of our trail that we refer to as the Timberline Trail over behind Van Fleet. Then it connects to Jacoby.
Yeah, no, I understand.
That brown and burgundy one, John. We had to hike in from there to get to it. The city currently owns a lot of green space land around the city that has been dedicated. And, it's frequently the undevelopable, really steep slope pieces of land that get dedicated. And then because of the development, the trees are in decline and they start falling and going over with wind throw. And it becomes a financial burden to the department to maintain them.
That's the only questions I had. I'll open it up to everybody else.
Ryan has his hand raised.
So
Thanks, Jesse.
just I have a pretty good idea of it. I just want to just double check. So like with the parkland dedication or the parkland, the city would take on the liability, the cost, everything that goes along with maintaining that piece, that sliver of property that's smack dab in the middle of everything else that's really hard to get to. Or we could just like say like, hey, we already have our master plan. It's already set up there. We can take the trail, like the trail easement with the extra 20 feet added to it, just in cases. And then eventually we can fill up or like complete the master plan. For that reason, if there's no other discussion, I move that the Parks Board submit a memorandum to the Planning Commission recommending that a trail easement extending approximately 100 feet from the top of the stream bank be required as a condition of approval for the night petition application. If there's no other discussion, that is. Sorry.
I'd second.
Is there any other discussion or?
No, I think I understand what's happening, and I do agree with what the staff was saying, so I'm good to move forward as well.
Michael, do we still have you?
Yes. I agree. Yes. Aye.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes. And John already said, or sorry, Ryan already stated the language, right? So were we good?
Yes,
Thank you
I
for
believe
reading
so.
that, Ryan. That was great.
No problem. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I had the clarification of like what it was before I made the motion, but yeah, makes sense.
Okay. Do you need anything else from us, Tiana?
We can do a quick staff update for you.
Great.
And then we'll just need to schedule getting with you to sign that memo.
Yeah, no worries. Anytime before the 20th. Or
Okay. John, do you want to start with your staff updates and then I'll close this out?
Absolutely. If you've driven through Sandy anytime in the last little while, you've noticed that Mountain Festival's in pretty full swing. Just as a guess for your information, as a reminder, Mountain Festival is not a city run event. That's its own Mountain Festival board that puts it on, but we partner heavily with them. Some of the things that we do on the recreation side is 3 kids events. Today was our annual pet show. We had about 60 people in attendance. We had miniature Highland cows, geckos, turtles, cats, dogs, chickens, and kids come up, they talk about their pet, and then they get a certificate of like a recognition. It's pretty darn cute. Tomorrow is our bike derby, and that will involve different stations that you and your family on your bikes go to, and they're like small skill challenges, and that happens at Cedar Park. And then our last event is Friday, and that's a kids parade, and that's about a 4-block parade designed specifically for kids and families that starts at Sandy Grade Elementary and basically does a 2-block loop and comes back, and that's always really fun. So if you have young ones that you know of in your family or close to you, be sure to point out Mountain Festival kids events and then go enjoy all the Mountain Festival activities as well. The biggest thing that we've been focused on recreationally is really the drop-in. That's the skate bike festival that we're working on. We've marketed, we've got branding, we've got registration up. We're working on highway banner designs and scope. So we're kind of full-fledged on that new event, hoping that it's a success. It will be a success. And then, yeah, that's kind of where we're at. The senior service side, things are chugging along great. Business as usual. Lots of attendance, lots of people in classes, lots of fun. And that is my update. Any questions?
Comment, softball's going great.
Oh, wonderful. Yes, softball started, and that is going good. It's been a wonderful season thus far, is what we've heard. The Pancake Batters, wonderful team.
Well, as John mentioned, Mountain Festival is almost in full swing. We'll have the parade tomorrow evening. Friday morning at 9 a.m. Festival starts setting up in Mining Park. We will host a fabulous festival in mining, and then Tuesday we will start seeing construction fencing go up and the gates will lock and Mining Park will close for the remainder of the summer for our renovation project in mining. So we're really excited to kick that off. and reopen it and welcome everybody back with Winterfest. But as you may get questions from the community, you may hear comments, remind them that we have many other beautiful, lovely parks and playgrounds that they can go visit and enjoy while we are renovating and making mining more inclusive and safe and welcoming for our community. We are not taking down the Fantasy Forest Playground. That is a question that we keep hearing. We are closing the entire park for safety of visitors and for the professionals that will be in there doing the renovations. We will do some repairs to the playground during that closure, but we are not removing Fantasy Forest. You may have also seen or heard the parks maintenance team came together as a whole crew and with one volunteer. We have this great trail volunteer that works with us every summer, and he came out and we completed some fuels reduction along the Tickle Creek Trail and removed a lot of the downstorm damaged branches and limbs that we've acquired over the last few years between Bridge 1 and Bridge 4. And so that looks a lot better and cleaner, and we're trying to reduce that fuel load out there. And then the team is just really chugging away on all things parks maintenance, getting mining ready to welcome everybody and taking advantage of the closure of the plaza. We're repainting that restroom, and they're just out there working very hard to keep our parks safe and welcoming for everybody. It's all things summer busyness right now. Thank you for being here tonight and helping us have this discussion. Does anybody have any questions?
No?
Not seeing any.
Oh, let's adjourn.
Well, thank you. Have a great summer.
Thank you, guys.